welcome to Vegetology. Today we are going to be making some delicious vegan Dauphinoise potatoes. These are great for if you've got a big crowd coming round, it serves a lot of people, you can use it as a side dish or you could have it as a main and have other salads or sides around it. So for our Dauphinoise, we are going to be using 1.25 kilograms of sliced potato. Now you can slice them by hand, but as you can see they're very thinly sliced. I have done this in my food processor with the thin slicer on, just so it was quick, and I'm not very good at cutting that thinly. I've also got one large onion that's also been sliced here, and then I've got a couple of garlic cloves that you can either cut up and slice by hand, or you can pop them in one of these little garlic pressers and it just pops the garlic out for you. What we're going to do is we're going to layer them up in our dish, potato, onion, garlic, until we've used all of them. So I'll do the first layer and then I'll come back when I've got the last layer on because it takes a few minutes. So I've got some of my garlic here. So I'll push that to there, bring my dish over. So I'm going to get some of my potatoes. Now I quite like to do this, like layering them over the top of each other so they form quite neat lines. Okay, so do a layer of potato. Now because the food processor sliced them so thinly, you can do it by hand, but like I say, it's just quicker in the processor. But it means they're all nice and evenly sliced. So I'm going to cover the bottom of my dish with a layer of potato. I've got my oven preheated to 170 degrees as well. You want that to be nice and hot when you put your dish in. Okay, so I've got a layer of potato. Then I'm just going to take a couple of my onions and scatter them over the top. Maybe a few more. And then do exactly the same with a little bit of my garlic, just dotting it here and there. Now, when I was trying out this recipe, I was also dotting with vegan butter in between every layer, but I found that made the dish too greasy. So I've actually omitted that completely, and I don't think you need it. It tastes delicious without any additional butter. So layer, and then layer of onions, layer of garlic. I'm going to keep on doing this until we are packed up, and then we're going to make our sauce. Okay, so we're now going to make our sauce. I've got my potatoes, onion and garlic all layered up and quite tightly packed. It used everything that I sliced. Okay, so for our sauce that we're going to pour over the top, I've got 600 ml of water. Doesn't need to be hot water, can just be cold water. I'm going to add to this, I'm going to add a tablespoon of whole grain mustard. I know that sounds like quite a lot. You don't have to add as much if you're not a mustard fan. And then I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of bouillon powder, which is a vegan vegetable stock, which is like that. Okay, so I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of the stock powder. And then I'm going to add in 250 millilitres of plant-based cream. So I've tried a couple of different ones, but I do like the plant one. It also works really well for making ganache. So if you've got any left over, you could make some really nice truffles. We are going to be doing a truffle recipe as well, a coconut and chocolate truffle, which is really nice. So I've got my cream, my water, my bouillon and my mustard all in here, and I just want to add some rosemary to it as well. So I've got a couple of sprigs of rosemary. I'm just going to get all the nice rosemary bits off, and I just pull down on the strip and they come off quite easily. Okay, I'm going to save 2 little sprigs because I want to lay them on top. So chop up this bit of rosemary. And add it into my creamy mix. Okay, give it all a good stir. Okay, now we're going to pour this all over our potatoes. If you feel like the cream's coming up and it's not filling in all the holes, just give the potatoes a bit of a push down. So I'm just going to pour this over. Go quite slowly. Your potatoes are packing to nearly the top of this, remember. So you don't want your sauce mix to fly everywhere. I'm just going to make sure I get in all the cracks. And make sure you have a nice even coverage. So all over, I tend to work around. And you should be able to fill your dish using every last bit of sauce. See, we've got a very mustard heavy on top. So let's spread that around a bit. That's fine. Okay, last little bit of sauce there. Then we're just going to pop on a couple of sprigs of rosemary. This is more for decorative look. I like it. I'm going to pop this in the oven, covered in foil, for an hour. Okay, so remember, my oven has been preheated to 170. It's going to go in for 1 hour. Then I'm going to take the foil off and I'm going to let that top crisp up for another 40 minutes. So it's an hour and 40 in total. First hour with the foil, last 40 minutes without the foil. So I will come back when this comes out of the oven. Okay, so our vegan Dauphinoise potato is now out of the oven. It's been sitting for about 10 minutes on the side and it looks and it smells delicious. So I'm just going to cut into a little bit. Oh, and I can see that sauce bubbling through as well. It makes such a nice like bubble and you can hear it for the first couple of minutes when it comes out of the oven. Okay, so I'm just going to take a little bit out. And it still stays really piping hot. Okay, so I've got that there, and then I tend to like to take a couple of the very crispy bits. So there we've got our vegan Dauphinoise potatoes. I would use this as an accompaniment to a big festive feast. It's absolutely delicious. We'll just try a little bit, just check it's as good as I'm hoping it's going to be. It's really good. So yeah, I hope you enjoy.